when building bridges in Polybridge, it's really useful to take advantage of the first break, but often that doesn't tell the whole story, and it can be very easy to get caught up in kind of a pattern of chasing the first break. So you just go through and you replace the thing that breaks with something slightly stronger, and then you watch it go through, and then it breaks again, and so you attack the next piece, and this can work. It's really handy if it turns out that you're very close to the source of the problem, but if you keep going through iteration after iteration of this, then what you probably want to do is look for the root cause. So in this case, what I found is much better is to look at the stress transfer as the cars go across. So by default, you see this lovely stress view in Polybridge, and you can actually see, especially if you're watching at slower speeds, the stress build up and transfer across the bridge. So you can just see it in the way that things subtly change color with this. You can see that yellow move along, and then you can see it much more clearly with these two. And from there you can actually see what the problem is with this bridge. And the problem obviously is not where those breakpoints are. The problem is lower down. So, in this case, the bridge is pretty clearly the bridge should be transferring stress from this upper section to this lower section, and I have removed a strut. So if I leave this strut in fact, I believe I should be able to remove this one. But if I leave this strut in, you can already see that stress is transferring from up here down through into this structure. And so if we speed this up, you can again see stress move across the bridge, and you can see the stress move down into there. So obviously I was wrong. I do need both. So this provides just a little bit of support, enough to keep the whole thing moving. And there you go. So that is a much better way to fix this bridge rather than trying to chase the first break. It's also worth noting that this can happen in reverse. Sometimes what you want to do is you want to remove a channel for stress. So in some iterations of this bridge that sadly I did not save, this central piece was breaking because enough stress was coming as the car bounced over these prior sections to break this piece and then have the entire bridge collapse. And then removing the central piece allowed stress to focus on these limbs and just have a small bit channel through there, which then allowed the bridge to continue. And that piece does continue to be vital, even as this, as you can see the stress build through there. But if we don't have that little bit there, then if we don't have this little piece here, then we will have a different piece end up undergoing a critical failure, and thus preventing the bridge from working. So that's just a quick tip for you. Pay attention to how the stress transfers across your bridge. You want to make sure that there are enough paths to ground, paths to get that stress out of the bridge to prevent any individual piece from failing. And sometimes the reason why your bridge is failing is not because an individual piece isn't strong enough, but because there aren't sufficient paths for the stress to carry and it's building up in one component.